everyone, it's Kellen Brauer from RacerX, back again with another race examination video. Going to talk about some things from Southwick. Wanted to highlight this start in 250 Moto number 2 to kick things off as Tom Vialle grabbed a pretty substantial hole shot. And I wanted to go back to right off the gate here because I heard a couple people point this out, and if you actually watch Posty319's video on Instagram, you get a great view of this. Vialle more or less jumps the gate, really, or times it about as perfect as you can. If you watch carefully here, right about there, his elbows are going to drop back before, anybody else has even moved. You see everyone's definitely Kitchen right next to him is still pretty upright looking at the gate, and Vialle is out of there. He already has like a bike length lead by the time we get to where the line of where they grade the start gets to. So huge jump out of the gate, and then immediately cuts over to control the line into the first corner. So we know Vialle's a great starter. We know he's always been really good in Europe, but I feel like this one came down to a timing thing. I don't know how well he was able to time the gate versus just actually saw something that most of us couldn't see, or he picked a gate that most of us couldn't tell what he was looking at. But great start and a huge hole shot right there for Tom Vialle in Moto 2. If we go back to the first moto, though, he was actually pressuring Justin Cooper for the lead for a little bit. Cooper had a little bit of a gap. It wasn't that close, but then Cooper's going to crash all by himself. I want to break down this crash a little bit because it just shows you how small of an error can really cost you. And this isn't even so much of an error as just the front end pushing out. But if you really kind of take a look at this again, what's going to end up happening is as Cooper goes over this single, of course, his body weight is always going to be kind of shifted towards the inside. And this rut has been sort of blown out, like it's no longer sweeping through the corner. It kind of goes straight and then, a pretty hard arc back up the hill. So Cooper's going to try to start leaning into this, and the suspension is going to compress just a little bit because he landed in this pocket, but he's trying to lean to get into the next area of the rut. When he does that, the front end is just going to find the very top edge of this, little rut that is still there and push the ground, and then slide out, and obviously for him ends up on the ground, and Vialle goes by and wins the moto. So a little bit unfortunate right there because it's such a tiny mistake that really cost him the chance at winning this first moto and maybe the overall on the day, but at least he repaid it well with a beautiful pass in the second moto to get around Vialle. This is when he was trying to get into second place at the time. He wheelies over these bumps, charging to the outside, maybe impressed everybody so well that even Hayden Deegan couldn't keep up with it. He's going to go down in the background there, and just kept the momentum on, goes to the outside and makes this pass on Vialle. Was going to catch maybe Shimoda to try to win this moto and maybe even the overall, but in the end doesn't quite work out. Still a great pass nonetheless.
I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 500,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Use the code RACERX, that's RACERX, for 20% off when you download the OnX app today.
All right, let's talk some stuff from 450s real quick, and this is the 450 Moto 1 start, which looks like it's going to be all Jett Lawrence going to the first corner, but Chase Sexton swoops around the outside, is able to grab the hole shot. But I wanted to highlight something that happened to Jett here. Well, first of all, Jett gets off the gate pretty well. It's a similar start to Vialle, but I don't think this was a timed situation. I think that this was just a good start off the gate, and he's actually got a pretty good control into the first corner because he's going to have the inside line. But Sexton's really smart about this. He's going to kind of go left, like he's veered off of where his line was going. You can see the guy that started right next to the box is going more towards the direction of the first corner. Sexton purposely is going to swing out a little bit wider towards some of those other ruts out there and do so that he can break late and apex for the first corner and kind of chop Jett off and be able to grab this hole shot. But another thing that happens here that not many people noticed is Jett almost went down. Definitely planted his foot and then started losing his balance a little bit, so he's putting a lot of weight on that front tire. You can see it slide, and it just catches as he kind of catches his foot again, and he's right now, stood up basically right in front of the whole pack, and they have to kind of come to a stop. AP almost hits him, and then Jett gets back on the power, but pretty impressive save, I feel like, there for Jett Lawrence, and then he immediately passes Sexton in the next straightaway for the lead. But as good as Jett was all day, I still think the pass of the motos for the 450 class at least was this move by Chase Sexton on Dylan Ferrandis, because it emphasizes to me exactly how to ride sand at Southwick. Jett obviously was, class of the field all day and did it very, very well, arguably the best. But Sexton here demonstrates how keeping the front tire light all the way through a sand section is really good. He's barely touching the ground with the front tire, just touches it right there to then pick it back up, do a little wheel tap right in here, and then he lets it kind of get through these braking bumps, and then again, light on the front tire, a little double just to maintain momentum. And then right here at the top again, he's going to use that little kicker to kind of wheelie over and then down the backside of this kind of roller jump out of the first corner. Just really good technique right there by Sexton to be able to complete this pass. And I feel like it maybe didn't get enough credit because he just blew right by Ferrandis with momentum. But to build that momentum, you need to actually attack the sand correctly. So great job there by Sexton in this pass.